Oh boy, that's not good. Wow, that blade has seen some better days. Let's see what we can do about that. Hey guys, as you heard, Matty Ice here, and as you can see, I've got my Mojack out, and it's doing some work. Mojack currently has the deck of my tractor lifted up so that I could access the blades. And this has been 3-4 years now, and I have not sharpened these blades once or replaced them. They are a bit rusty, which is fine, but as you can see, I've hit some stuff. And if you can tell at the end there, I've got a deep chip in this. I can probably live with it. I can fix it, but man, I hope the other one's not as bad as this one. This one on the other side of the blade, not so bad. A couple little dents, but nothing horrendous. But I'm just going to show you guys real quick how we go about taking these off. You can see down here, right there, you see an empty bolt. That's because I have already taken off one side, and then I thought to myself, you know what, I should really do a video on this. So this bolt right here is going to be just like the blade. The threaded ends will have a star pattern on it, and that goes up there, and then on top of that, all you have is one washer. It's kind of like a little bolt end washer thing. Here you go. And this goes right on there and holds it on. It's going to look exactly like... I know it's hard for you guys to see. Let's see if I can zoom in. There you go. It looks exactly like that one right there. It's just that one's not off yet. Now, you might be asking, how do you get that off? Well, first, I recommend having a jack stand because it made this job so much easier. I had out my 1/2-inch wrench. I got a bar. I was hitting at this thing like crazy, and I could not get it to break. When you take blades off on your mower, you need to make sure you have a couple of things done first. I don't have the battery in right now, so the battery is disconnected when you change blades, when you sharpen blades. Always do that. The other thing you want to make sure is that your spark plug is disconnected. If you've watched my video on how to change the spark plug, it's right in the front. You don't have to pull the spark plug out. Just take the wire or the cap and pull it off. Simple. And then when you're ready, when you're done, just pop it back in. That's to make sure that you have no risk of starting this, because if these blades spin over, there's a chance that it could start the engine if you haven't done those things. So, now the other thing you have to do is these blades will spin in here. They, independent of one another, they'll move around in a circle. You have to go one at a time and remove them. Now, if you just start cranking on this right here, it's going to spin the blade and you're going to get nowhere. You need some type of obstruction or tool to help you capture that blade in a specific area so that you can release it. They actually sell lawnmower blade, like little holders that clamp on the side of your tractor and hold the blade in place so you can safely do that. They're very nice. I don't have one, and frankly, I don't think I've ever seen one for sale at a store before. So I figured I was going to do my own thing. Now, some people like to do the 2x4, where they jam a 2x4 in there. That's great for the discharge side over there, where you have a nice little window to jam it through and something's gonna, capture it. But on this side, there's nothing to hold it in place. I was worried I was gonna, cut my hand off. I know you can run it from side to side, but still, I didn't feel that was very safe. So what I did, I went to Harbor Freight, and Matty Ice, this fella right here, purchased himself just a 4-inch little C-clamp. And you put the C-clamp on there, and boys, you crank this thing until you cannot possibly crank it anymore. You do not want this thing to even have an iota of being loose, because if it's loose and you hit this too hard as you're going through, you're going to end up cutting yourself pretty bad. It's very easy to do. So C-clamp in there, and I cranked that thing down until I couldn't move it anymore, and I was even tapping a little bit with a hammer. Next thing, this right here that's on the bottom that holds the blade on is 24 millimeters. I actually have a 24. If you've watched any of my other videos, there's my Stanley 24 right there. And this boy is what I used to actually change the oil filters on my Chevy Colorado. So if you've got a Chevy Colorado and a Troy-Bilt tractor, you're in business. So this will go on your wrench on there, and then you start cranking away. I cranked on this thing for I don't know how long. I got out the cheater bar, I hit it with a hammer. I could not get this thing to break. So I eventually relented and got out the Ryobi Impact and worked at it. It took it about 30 seconds for this thing to break free. I mean, I guess after 3-4 years of rust and everything, as you can see on there, it was pretty, kind of gross. So it was held on there pretty good. I think maybe when I put this back on, I'm gonna have to put on maybe some anti-seize on there or something, just so this doesn't happen again. I really, now that I have this mower lift, I think I'm gonna start doing this every, other year maybe. I don't know if I need it every year. And then we're gonna go over here and work on this other side, and I'll show you guys my process over here. Okay, so I got the clamp over there towards the side, and then we are going to flip this blade around. I am going to reach under there with my impact socket, and we're just gonna now start popping her out. Here's our blade side right here. This is the back side, so let's put that there and start. All right, there you go, guys. It's not damaged, it's just, it looks a little rusty in there. So what do you want to bet that, old Father Time just put a little bit of, moisture condensation in there, and you guys can see all that grass buildup in there. I'm going to scrape that off too. Let's flip over to actually taking care of these blades, because that's going to be something new for me too that I've actually never tried before on this tractor. Alright guys, so we've got a blade over on the vise right here, and I've got this thing cranked down, and I'm also decked out. I got my gloves on, safety specs too. Can't be too careful. I was going to wear a face mask, but they kept fogging up the glasses. And I've got out my grinder. I've got the standard Ryobi disc on here. You could probably also get away with a flap disc on this. It's a little bit more gentle. Since I have such deep grooves in this one, what you're going to do is kind of try and mimic the angle of your blade and just run a quick line around it and then go back and then check and see your work. This is the blade side, by the way, right here that we're cutting. We're not doing the unfinished edge. So we'll do a quick run on this, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, that's all I did, one run right there. So as you can see, that actually does not look too bad. That looks pretty good. That disc is fairly aggressive though. You can see where it, it really took at it, but I've still got, if you guys can see there, we've still got some chips to work out, so I'm probably going to take 1 or 2 more passes at it and see if they come out, and then maybe if they're really bad, I'll go on the other side and try and just do a quick pass over there to see if I can even it out. We'll see what happens though. Like I said, this is my first time sharpening blades on this tractor. Really good right now. So let's flip this over to the other side. And that's the really bad one. So this one, I'm gonna have to work on the back a little bit first because that chip goes down pretty far. I don't know, this one I might have to grind down a little bit first. Usually when your blades get like this, you should just replace them. But I I wanted to see if I could do something about it, if I could actually fix these and save them. New blades aren't super expensive anyway, so. Battery died. Luckily I had another one there just in case. Okay, back at it. So you guys saw there, just a couple of passes, and just needs a little bit of like touch-up work, maybe the flap disc, but I've still got that damn chip there. So I don't know, maybe this one I just, ride down to there and try and redo it. I'm gonna work at it a little bit and we'll see what happens. I still got a little bit of a chip there, but I think I'm gonna have to live with it if I'm gonna use these blades. It's pretty damn sharp right now. I'm actually impressed with that edge considering this. I got the one at the end mostly out, but as you can see, I still got that little divot there. It's sharp in there, but oh well. So this blade from the other side is actually in much better shape. Look at that. No major nicks on this side, just rusty. And then on this side, looks very good, little chip at the end. Alright guys, so we're back under here, and as you can see I've got a huge mess. I scraped off as much dirt as I could. Now we need to mount these back on here, and then after that we need to put the bolts back on. But before we do that this time, I'm actually going to try a little anti-seize. Now I could not find Permatex copper anywhere. They were sold out of it everywhere, so unfortunately I have to use this Versachem. I'm not too familiar, but it says it's a heat protecting thread lubricant, and it will help prevent seizing up to 1800 degrees, and it is a copper formula. So I don't think on this type of deck aluminum would be good to use. I mean, it probably wouldn't kill you, it's a tractor, but without knowing what this is made of, I think copper is definitely the way to go. I'm actually going to put it on the threads and then this face plate right here. Oh yeah. That's copper. You can see it shining in there. That's probably too much for this application, but whatever. I'll go for it. It's just anti-seize, and it's I don't think it'll hurt anything necessarily. There you go. We got a nice little layer there. Looks a little bit like peanut butter. And then we'll put it on the threads in here. And then since I put so much on there, we'll go in here. We'll apply it to the threads too. I mean, it can't hurt at this point. All right. And then the top blade. Yeah, we'll even, since we got this too, we might as well use it. We'll put a little dab here and there. That way the blade doesn't get stuck either. Okay. And I don't have my clamp over here yet. I plan to put on both sides, and then I was like, then we can move the clamp, because the clamp's already over there. We'll just, use it over there first. We're just getting these started anyway. We're not cranking these down yet. Come on. There we go. Alright, we got that one started. Now we just need to line her up on there, just like that. And we're just going to go until it's, basically finger tight. It's going really nicely now with that anti-seize on there. It feels like it's got a good flow to it. Alright, and I can't tighten them anymore by hand, so there you go. Look at that. That anti-seize is some nice stuff. Oh yeah. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll come back and we'll hit them with the impact wrench. Okay, there we go. Both sides on now. As you can see, kind of, off there. That blade is installed, and I do have the clamp over there. So now we're just going to quickly hit them with the wrench and get them tightened up. And in case you guys are wondering about this Mojack, I've had this tractor on this jack stand now for 4 days up, because I kind of got busy, with life stuff. Work gets in the way, you get the grind. That is pretty much sharpening blades on your tractor. It's, it's not that bad. Couple tools make it easier, like this jack stand. The C-clamp, the 4-inch C-clamp that I have, awesome. I would highly recommend those, because you can get these at Harbor Freight with these little flexible heads on it, and it's only going to cost you like, $3-4 bucks. And if something happens to it, who cares? It came from Harbor Freight. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this tractor video, please let me know. Tell me, if you do something different, if you think I could do something better. And we will catch you in the next one. As always, have a great night, guys.